On today's show, we discuss another hysterical storyline coming from 2-5's camp, some potential advancements in terms of a Sixers and Pacers trade, and a whole lot more. Let's break it down.
Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? RB here. Welcome on into Philly Take with RB, where we constantly talk Philly sports. You know what to do. Drop a like if you enjoy the content. Subscribe if you're new, and hit that little bell so you're always notified anytime we drop content or go live. Today, we're going to talk about what Rich Paul and 2-5's camp had to say. I mean, these just get funnier and funnier. We'll talk about these potential swirling rumors in terms of a Sixers and Pacers swap. What do I think about it? And we have a whole lot more. We'll talk about some tidbits around the NBA. And I think that's what we'll get started on as we've been doing in these videos. But before we do all that, let's go ahead and hear a quick word from the sponsor, BetQL. Do you want to get an advantage over your sports book? Well, if so, BetQL is the perfect app for you. Their best bet model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you a best bet recommendation across all major sports for every single game. They give you spreads, over, unders, player props. They even give you all the news, injury updates, and any other information you need to succeed on your bets in real time. I've been using BetQL myself. I've taken it upon me to use their information. They have some of the sharpest analytics. They really go into detail. And really, they just help you take your sports betting to another level. So if you're like me and you're looking at all these big games coming up in the next few days, go over to the App Store or Google Play Store right now, or just click the link down in the description, download BetQL, and use promo code RB for 25% off of any subscription offering. Again, promo code RB, 25% off. And if you're in an eligible state, be sure to check out the special BetMGM offer as well to receive $200 in free bets no matter whether your wager wins or not. Again, all this information down below in the description. Shout out to BetQL for sponsoring this content. All right, so we are back, and man, it's been an interesting day. It definitely has been an interesting day. We will start with some news around the NBA very quickly to get us warmed up a little bit. First and foremost, shout out to Grant Ryler. As you know, I really like this kid, and he had a great game the other night. Apparently, he suffered a torn meniscus in his left knee. He'll be reevaluated in a couple weeks after undergoing surgery. I hope Grant's all right, man. I don't know if he'll make the team. I doubt it, but best of luck to him. And you know, I hope he finds a career. You know what I mean? In terms of basketball somehow. But it sucks. It sucks, especially in the first game when you get an injury like that. So prayers up for Grant Ryler. Also, another comment around the league. We'll get into the 2-5 stuff, but according to Hoop Central on Twitter, an Eastern Conference team executive on the 2-5 situation, quote, F that. You let a guy force his way out with 4 years left on a max contract, and you set a terrible precedent they can't cave. I agree 100%. This is what I'm saying, man. And there's a lot of bad business that could happen here. That is for sure. One other thing that I would like to note, shout out to my guy AI, the answer, my favorite Sixer man. Speaking of which, you know, the new season's coming up. I had to cop some new gear. You know what? Look at this. Man.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to my guy AI. You guys know, if you're an OG on the channel, the success that we had with the AI jersey. And let me tell you something, man. Maybe I'll do one of these in terms of a giveaway. Should I do that? Let me know down below. But this is what AI had to say. He said, quote, I'm a Sixer for life. I got Sixer blood pumping through me. Everybody knows that I want to help that organization. I've been retired, 11 years? I don't know how I'm not a part of that staff some kind of way. It's something I don't understand. So if I'm the Sixers right now, man, and we want some help, how about, I don't know, the greatest point guard in the franchise history? How about we go get him and bring him in, you know? Let him draft some talent or play these guys up or whatever you want to, whatever kind of role you want to put him in. AI is welcomed back any single day. He's almost at all the home games anyway. Man, that would be special. Imagine AI mentoring a guy like Tyrese Maxey. I think that would be a lethal combo right there. I mean, in fact, I wish we could bring AI out of retirement. You know what I mean? But anyway, shout out to AI. So getting into this, we'll start with the 2-5 thing. There was an article put out by Kyle Neubeck yesterday. Shout out to my guys DJ and Steven and Romp. We reacted to this live on our stream yesterday. pretty much 2-5 is selling his apartment at the Ritz-Carlton, and, he's pretty much, trying to get his money. He's not coming back. We know that. But there was an article, and we kind of reacted to this live, but there was something I missed. And shout out to Kyle Neubeck for a great piece. Look at this. So this is kind of what we went over. After being fined for the preseason loss, a penalty of roughly $360,000, Simmons' representation had another discussion with the Players Association in which it was reiterated they would be unable to recoup the money being deducted from the money that is sitting in the escrow account. So we kind of talked like pretty much, these guys, their palms are starting to sweat. I don't think it's too much, but, as the days add up, this is a guy losing a lot of money, man. And, being a celebrity, it comes with a lot. You know what I mean? And all he has to do is show up. But that doesn't seem to be the course of action right now. And apparently the fines are a little bit higher than they thought due to the pandemic and all this stuff. So, people think they're feeling a little bit of pressure here. But this is the part that gets really, really interesting. Source familiar with the conversations between Simmons camp and Sixers told Philly Voice that the only consistent or clear message this offseason was about the accelerated timeline Simmons has been evaluated on compared to other number one overall picks. In most instances, Rich Paul and others have pointed out, top picks are sent to bad teams where they can figure out who they are and how their career is going to play out. Having missed the first year due to injury, Simmons joined Embiid to form a partnership capable of winning 50 games right away, and the Sixers have been considered contenders at various points during the last 3 seasons, increasing scrutiny on his development. Now, in summation, what that means is every excuse in the book has been written up at this point, and now we're adding one where it's now the Sixers' fault for drafting guys that could help them win early on, and now there's too much scrutiny early in a career. Are you kidding me? Look, I can't wait till this is over. I really just can't wait to talk about this team this year. But it's just gotten so comical at this point. Like, this is... Are you kidding me? Now we're too good? That's why you're failing now? Because we're too good and we were a 50-win team right away? Really? Really? It gets worse each and every time, and I feel like Rich Paul continues to put these things out. As bad as this portrays an image on 2-5, Rich Paul is looking like a complete idiot right now. Really? That's the consistent message. Like I said, all 2-5 had to come back and do was facilitate a trade. We help each other. We get them out. We get what we want and need. But no, they wanted to go the sloppy route, and here we are. But I just think that's absolutely hilarious. Like, how many more excuses in the book can you make up? You know what I mean? But anyway, getting to the other thing, report came out today. Shout out to Jordan Schultz. Says, in addition to Caris LeVert, sources say the Sixers have inquired about Malcolm Brogdon, citing his high-level two-way game and capacity to play both guard positions as a plus alongside Joel Embiid. One more note, the Pacers control all of their draft picks as well. So essentially we talked about this trade a little bit last night, and, Caris LeVert's name has been popping up. There hasn't been anything that said the Sixers were interested in LeVert, but now they're saying we are at least interested in Malcolm Brogdon. Now, is this legit? Who knows? But, today I've been going back and forth battling with idiots on Twitter. And yes, I call them idiots, not because they disagree with me or I disagree with them, but because, Ben's stands are so funny at this point that if you disagree with them, they have to take personal shots at you to feel closure about themselves. You know what I mean? And I'm going back and forth with these. Like, there are a couple individuals on Twitter, just alone today. They people think that there is a bidding war going on for 2-5. How much more idiotic can you be? Okay? Look, I'm not a media member. I don't have inside sources. But when I look at something like this, I just try to think about it the best way I can and go about it with a structure, right? And I'm not always right. I can admit when I'm wrong. But for the people, there are people out here that think that, the Sixers have so much leverage and they're putting this guy on a pedestal because of his accolades and there's a bidding war. Are you serious? This one idiot tried to tell me that there are 6 teams vying and bidding against each other for 2. Like, are you serious right now? Here's what's going on, okay? And I just noticed this recurring theme, even in society. Like, people love to think with their eyes instead of their brains. Like, for once, think about this. Have you ever maybe invested in stocks or maybe you're into sports betting or something like that, or maybe you're even at a casino or something, right? And you're winning money and you're doing your thing. And at one point you can sell the stock or you can take the money out, right? It's looking real good, but you're like, let me go get more. And, you try and then you lose money. Now you're still above where you started, right? But you're not at the level you were at. And now that human instinct kicks in and you're just like, let me go get more. Let me get back to that level. And then you're trying and you're losing more. You know what I mean? That's exactly what's going on here with the Sixers. Daryl Morey sees what 2-5 could have gotten him last year. He tried to get James Harden and failed. And now we're looking, and this has gotten, this is a situation with no precedent. Like, this is a really, really sloppy situation. And at the end of the day, Daryl Morey's either thinking we probably have a couple offers on the table. We can either take those or we can try to wait 10, 20 games into a season, see if a team gets a major injury, like I said yesterday, or something like that, or they need a defensive player and they get desperate and they go and pay a little more for 2-5. But there is, we waited out for a star. Nobody's available right now, okay? And with the guys that are out there, I'm putting my trust in Daryl Morey still. Like, I know it sounds a little crazy, but I think that the hate for him has been a little bit overblown. Like, we have to be a bit patient here because, again, this is one of our last trade chips, and I'm just going to put my faith in Daryl Morey to weigh the playing field and make the best offer or the best deal available when he deems it to be the best offer that we will get. And that will set us up not only for now, but for the future as well and not mess things up. You know what I mean? And anyway, with this whole Pacers thing coming in terms of Brogdon and LeVert, and I'm hearing TJ Warren, like, I'm starting to think, like, it took me a little while to come across with the Kyle Lowry thing at last trade deadline. But, eventually I was there saying, like, if we made the move, I wouldn't be mad at it. I was all in on it. And, I'm starting to get sold on this Pacers offer a little bit. You know why? Because I think it could be a pretty good fit. Now, I'm not saying it's the top thing that I want. I'm not saying it's the best one out there. But I'm just saying when Daryl Morey weighs the playing field, if that's maybe the best offer we're going to get, you have to at least consider it. Bringing in a guy like Malcolm Brogdon and TJ Warren, or bringing in a combination also of LeVert and TJ Warren, not only does it almost exactly match the salaries up, so it would be pretty easy, maybe if they throw in some picks or something, but it makes a lot of sense from a basketball standpoint when you have Malcolm Brogdon, who's a two-way guard who can play the 1 or 2 and help a guy like Tyrese Maxey, and he's also a great defender, which a lot of people are worried about losing, right? And then you have a guy like TJ Warren who could fit right in because we haven't had a small forward that can play small forward in how long, and he could fit in. And I know he was hurt last year, but, look at what the guy did to us in the bubble. He was really coming into his own. Caris LeVert is mainly a 2. He can also play some 3 and be like a in-between wing, he's 6'6". The Pacers have some guys that I really think we could plug in. Now, similar to what I said last night, there are definitely some concerns here because these guys have not stayed healthy. I don't think any of them have played a full season. So there's definitely that injury concern there, and maybe you're worried about that. But then again, Joel Embiid is hurt a lot, and there's a lot of risks. You know what I mean? So I just think Daryl Morey has to be patient and hit at the right time. I do agree that, the NBA doesn't want to lose this situation. They don't want 2-5 to get what he wants because it sets up another situation where another player can just request out and do this again in the future, and that's bad business for the NBA. But at the same time, Rich Paul is sitting here, and he's saying, if I lose this war, then my future clients, my future business is going to be damaged by this. So I just think it's at a big standstill, but you can see Rich Paul and them losing some of their power here. And I knew it was going to happen. And Daryl Morey, again, he loves to trade star for star. He's not afraid to play hardball. But when it comes to this Pacers deal, the salary matches up pretty well. And, it's definitely an offer you have to consider. I'm being sold on it more and more, looking at the surrounding situation and where we're at, and I just think if it's one of the top offers, you might have to consider it as Daryl Morey. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. At the end of the day, Still a sticky situation. I don't anticipate it to go on too much longer. I think if it does bleed into the season, something's going to happen in terms of the NBA. That's just what I got, though, at the end of the day. Give me all your thoughts down below in the comment section. Shout out to BetQL for sponsoring this content, the only app you'll need to beat your sports book today. Check out all the information down below in the description. Give me all your thoughts. That being said, appreciate you guys so much. Be sure to come out to the play-by-play tomorrow night. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next one, man. Peace.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.